Come fly with me, let's fly away. Do 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 do. One sunny day, come fly with me, let's fly away. You didn't know I was a crooner, did you? Will you look at this shit? I mean, 360 degrees of $2 trillion worth of aircraft, and you know the rest of it yourselves. Fuck 'em, let's get down to earth, right? I'm so busy. Look at the shit and length of that grass. I gotta cut it. I've already cut this. And a major philosophical moment hit me at the same time as I was cutting this, all right? I'm going to explain it all to you now. Jason from Archaix channel. Jason has been talking about the vapor canopy and the vapor canopy collapse, and that before the vapor canopy collapsed, sun and moon were not visible. All right. So I have been out here cutting down a fucking vapor canopy because I gotta cut this grass. I'm not looking forward to it. I cut this, it's already growing. So down in there are billions and trillions of little creepy crawlies, and they have never seen the sun. They have never seen the moon. They could be 4, 5, 6 generations crawling along the earth there, and then I come along with my strimmer over. My brothers and sisters over there in the good old US of A would call it a weed eater, yeah? And I instantly remove their vapor canopy. And suddenly, what happens? The sun suddenly appears for the first time in generations. And the moon. And so imagine all these creepy crawlies. They had a history, okay? And the insects that are down there now, their daddy, their granddaddy, and their great-granddaddy, they lived down there, and they lived under this vapor canopy. And I come along with my massive weed eater, and within a day, I leave an area like the fucking Sahara Desert behind me, okay? Where there are no creepy crawlies. Because they all immediately, if they want to survive, they got to head underground to get away from the sun that's going to burn them, yeah? So let's get back to Jason's vapor canopy. I won't call it a theory. And when did this happen? Yeah? Look at this fucking race taking place. You know, fuckers. Anyway, I can't do nothing about them. Now, electric fence. Watch this. 1, 2. You don't want to hit either of them. Jason and his vapor canopy. Fuck, I keep getting lost. Yeah, so when did this vapor canopy collapse? He's going back. He has years in his head. Thousands, hundreds, this, that, the other, right? I just can't handle numbers. I really like the Vedas. I really like Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. But when they talk about billions and trillions of years, I get kind of lost, okay? I think somebody's messing with the numbers. Hello, Hulky. How are you this morning? Don't be kissing my phone. Mwah. So, then we see that there was an event in the 1600s that we cannot put our fingers on. Some call it the melt or whatever. But anyway, let me get back down to fucking earth here. I have a feeling that this event took place in the 1600s. I have reasons to believe that. I'm afraid to cross this electric fence. It's a bit high. It's going to catch me on the oh, that's it. I'm all right. 1600s. Now, what happened in the 1600s? Early 1600s. Pompeii was destroyed in the early 1600s. Yeah, and if we look at any old maps from around that period in time, we can see that the Sahara was occupied. Many other parts of the world right now, like Siberia, were occupied. North Canada, cities, thousands of them everywhere. And then come the 1600s, they disappear off the maps. And in Ireland, there is a guy in Ireland called Miles Johnson. And he was talking about an event which took place down around Lisburn, or along Lough Neagh in Northern Ireland, beside a castle which is blackened, which he reckons is blackened with black go. And there are these circular thermokarst lakes beside it, like it has been bombarded by the same thing that bombarded Siberia. And he says that this happened in 625, right? I don't want to go up the field, it's full of ticks. I'm going up the field. 625. But he's not aware, he hasn't mentioned or spoken about the 1,000 years added to our history. So I might put that date at 1625. Same century as Pompeii. Same century as all the maps of the world switched and changed. Here's one for you. When was the moon discovered? Now you can pump that into any search engine you like. When was the moon discovered? And it will say the moon was discovered in 1609. Now that doesn't mean that the moon suddenly appeared in the sky in 1609. It wasn't there before. No, but maybe the vapor canopy was taken down in 1609. And the people, generations of them, with a history, have never experienced the sun and the moon the way we experience it right now. Suddenly the vapor canopy is taken down and fucking moon isn't discovered. All right. And then what happens? Fucking heat and light is turned up to 11. And would it have been powerful enough to melt things when that happens? Hey, Titan. Would it have been powerful enough to melt things? I doubt it. But let's say they had to then turn the sun down. Turn the sun down a few notches. Down from 11 to say 3.5. 3.3. 3.33333. Okay? So that we can survive. Even though if we go out in it, we still get burnt. We can still get cancer. So, are we born to walk around under the sun in our bare skin? Not really. Hey, big boy. Are you enjoying breakfast? I bet you this horse knows more about flat earth than all of these fucking cockbenders that are up there in the sky flying around. How are you, big boy, this morning? Good to see you. And you're looking pretty good. Oh, yeah, you tell him, man. Ha 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 ha. You see, you're whoop, dip, 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 dip. I know you're too big. So yeah. Hold it a second. Yeah, and then there's another story from the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord can incarnate in any form and in any mood, and can have a different incarnation for each mood. But when the Lord appears in his warrior form, his name is Parasurama. And Parasurama, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, hated Kshatriya warriors and came to the earth to fight them. So he traversed the earth with two huge axes, one in each hand, and from left to right, and chopped everything off at ground level. Chopped all of these warriors off at the shins. You big boy. And rid the earth of Kshatriyas. I'm wearing the fucking wrong boots again, wet grass. So, when you look at the mesas on this earth, in the United States, in South America, giant mesas, the bases of giant trees that look like they've been cut clean. They're a mile wide, 2 miles wide. These trees must have been hundreds of miles tall. Vapor canopy. And then these trees that are hundreds of miles tall get chopped off. And the only thing, I ain't thinking, I'm sure there are people out there thinking of some big fucking giant Nephilim with a big fucking giant Nephilim chainsaw and sawing the fucking trees down one after the other. A very powerful, the most powerful force of all, chop those trees down. So, when did this happen? I go 1600s, could be wrong. We know that there was another reset in the 1800s after the world had gotten back on its feet again. Because we can see with the most magnificent cities in the world, electric fence, magnificent cities in the world were built, and they couldn't have been built during war or famine, pestilence, disease, anything like that. They had to have been built during a time of calm. And then of course along comes a fucking mud flood, buries the whole fucking lot. Excuse my language, horse, hulky. Have to keep the two horses separated. Yeah. So was the destruction of the vapor canopy divine intervention? A reset that rids the earth of troublemakers, and then the earth sets itself back up again? We don't know. As I say, I ain't gone on these timelines and time frames. I get my hammock hung up now so I can chill more. Yeah. So there's your vapor canopy right there. Billions and trillions of little creatures living underneath it. Never seen the sun. I'm going to come along with the weed eater, and I am going to remove their vapor canopy on them. And even, let's say there's some living in there in the middle. They probably would never have experienced this part of the garden over here. They wouldn't go that far. They live in anxiety. Their measurements are in arachnometers, right? That's a new one. And that's the arachnometers would be the way they measure the fucking speed that a spider would come fucking running at you. Yeah? Dodgy place. And then, of course, when I remove it, they either have to do what humans would do, dive under the earth, head underground, get cover, get shelter, or get burnt in a nanosecond. Let's go for a little walk. It's early, it's not 8 o'clock yet. Yeah, no life, nothing going on, everything's quiet. Oh, snakes. I came across quite a few the other day. It got hot. So let's get back to these cockbenders in the sky, right? Don't know if you can see that. But when he flies and spills his shit, he's flying underneath the old trail. So the trails are rising up. As they get sprayed out, they rise up, 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 up. I have a theory on that. A couple, actually. I reckon it could be trying to create a giant Fresnel or Fresnel lens. And then one day cook us that way. That's maybe how they cooked the earth. With a giant Fresnel lens, they can fucking melt anything. Or are they creating a screen in the sky that they can reflect holograms off of? What do you think of that? That could be it. Either way, they're not doing it for our benefit. Look at it. I mean, billions have been spent overnight doing this shit. For this, look at this shit. Let me see now. I wonder, could we get any surplus stock from some warmonger somewhere who's selling some stuff on the side, and just have a field day one day, blowing all these motherfuckers out of the sky. Anyway, vapor canopy, creepy crawlies, ants, fucking airplanes, fucking helicopters. There've been helicopters around here. Oh, yesterday, man, I was outside this fucking fighter jet. Couldn't hear it coming, nearly blew my fucking ears off. Yeah, and I'm mad. Cannot believe it. There is another story as well from the animated movie April and the Extraordinary World, where they say that Napoleon cut down all the trees. A fucking bastard. Never existed, too short to exist, but maybe it was an error and an excuse, of course, as to how all this happened. But anyway, it says in the movie that Napoleon cut down all the trees and he was turning the world away from electricity and towards steam. He needed the wood for the trees to run the steam engines. Don't know about that, but it caused such a smog in Paris that people were freaking choking. Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past him, especially if his enemy lived under the trees, lived under the canopy. Who's your enemy? Fucking useless eaters. Me. Look at me, I'm living under this fucking... I'm surrounded by trees. I'm in the forest under the canopy. I'm the fucking enemy. Look at them billions they have to spend just to come after fucking me. So that's it, people. Look at that. Don't forget to wear your giant condom